Bonjour mes enfants, c'est votre uncle. Yes, it's Uncle Dan the Vinyl Man back with another episode of Uncle Dan's Vintage Vinyl. And this is another episode in my series on the unbearable cheapness of Dan. I'm going to be reviewing another cheap turntable turntable changer really, although people call them interchangeably changers and turntables. This is a changer that I purchased some time ago for 20 bucks. It is a Fisher 225 XA turntable or changer, and automatic record changer. It's got the stack. You can stack records on it. I didn't get it with the 45 stacker. But I don't much listen to 45s anyway, and I basically never stack records, so I'm not too worried about it. Maybe sometime I'll try to pick up a 45 stacker for it. Who knows? Anyway, Fisher didn't manufacture its own turntables. Fisher was a quite good manufacturer of amplifiers and receivers for a time. And then it was sold, and the stuff went downhill. It started being sourced from Japan, and they weren't sourcing good stuff from Japan. They weren't sourcing really high-end stuff from Japan. They were sourcing lower-end stuff. I don't think Fisher ever manufactured its own turntables. It always bought turntables. This one is a BSR, and I think it was a CR123. Dates from about the late 1960s. BSR is not a highly regarded manufacturer of turntables and changers. In fact, it's generally considered a very poor manufacturer. It was a British company. I have I have a couple of realistic, Radio Shack realistic branded BSRs that are okay. And then I have a BSR McDonald 810 where they tried to get serious. And that's a pretty decent turntable. I actually kind of like it. It's a pretty decent one. Maybe I'll bring that up one time. I'll show you what this looks like here. Now, get you there. And so you can see it. This is what it looks like. Fisher magnetic cartridge, if you can see here. It doesn't have a counterweight. It uses a spring balance. Uses a spring balance instead to provide the spring to provide the correct vertical tracking force, and that tends to be a little on the iffy side on that. So not great, not ideal, far from ideal. When I got it, 20 bucks, it was running on 33 1/3, it was running at 37 RPMs. More than 10% above the recommended speed. I put on a Nancy Wilson LP, and Ms. Wilson sounded like a chipmunk. So I was like, well, what do I do? And I ended up taking the platter off, and taking some 400 grit sandpaper, and this uses an idler drive, and I held the sandpaper against the spindle while running the motor, and I sanded it down until I got to just around 33.4, 33.5, something like that, and I called it good at that point. It's probably a little fast, but what the heck. And it's maybe fast on the 45. I didn't actually test it on the 45, but it probably runs fast on the 45. But there you go. It has a Pickering a V15 AT2 cartridge on it. The body is good on those cartridges. Moving magnet cartridge, good body. Conical stylus, and you kind of need a conical stylus on a changer because you'll get different record heights. So most of the changers will use conical styluses. How the cartridge sits this way or that way, on the tone arm sits this way or that way, on a conical doesn't matter quite as much. If you have a cartridge with an elliptical stylus, though, you want that angle to be as close as possible, to be correct. So if you got a changer where, as you stack records, that you're going to change the angle of the arm, you probably want a conical stylus, spherical, conical, round. It's if you look down on a conical stylus, it looks round with it coming up to a point. So anyway, I have two then to play for you on this. Again, I paid $20 for this. I got it working, and it actually, the Pickering cartridge, that Pickering V15 cartridge sounds pretty darn good. I've had it tracking down to 2 grams, which is probably a little light for that stylus. I cranked it to 2.5, and it sounds good on LPs. Tonight I have it set around 3 grams. It's a little funky with the spring vertical tracking force. I have it set around 3 grams because I'm playing a 45 that's got some issues. This came from a batch of 45s that I got from my friend Eugene. And shout out to Eugene. Great guy. And he has a connection to Hawaii. And he gave me, he knows that I've had this fondness for things Hawaiian for quite a while. I had one house that was all sort of island motif. And I know it's kind of cultural appropriation, kind of exactly cultural appropriation. But I liked it. And so he gave me these 45s that he'd come across. And this is the batch that I got. Most of them, about 6 from Waikiki Records, and I'll show you one of these. You can see the paper sleeves are pretty rough. But Waikiki Records there, which was founded in 1958 on Hawaii, and it was recorded on Hawaii and by an engineer named Tommy Kearns, or Carnes, Kearns, who, I don't know, loved Hawaiian music, or anyway, he wanted to record it. I think these sleeves, these paper sleeves they have are very lovely. Or they were very lovely. Mine are in rough shape. Most of the 45s are in kind of rough shape too. I also have a couple from 49th State Hawaii Record Company. So these old ones, and they have from Honolulu, and they have kind of cool labels on them and all. I'm also kind of a sucker for Hawaiian music anyway. I think it's generally very lovely. A lot of lap steel too, lap steel guitar. There is a guitar played on a lap. And I'm going to do a review at another time of this album that I've had for a long time. I got for $1. Master of the Hawaiian Guitar, Saul, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Saul Ho'opi'i, or something like that, or Saul Hoopy, it kind of looks like. But he was just a great lap steel guitarist, and one of the ones that really brought the Hawaiian guitar forward and influenced a ton of other people. So I'm going to turn this on now and drop this on. Oops, and I forgot it's Hey Hawaii Pio by Lonnie. I've got to get this right. Lonnie, Lahila, and Nina. I don't know when this was released. I checked on Discogs. There is a listing for it on Discogs, but the date is unknown. This Waikiki Record Company was founded in 1958. I suspect this is from the early 1960s. So we'll get it going and hear a little bit of this record. And, as I play this for you, part of my channel, part of what I want to do on this channel is say, I want to be a little different from a lot of people in the vinyl community. A lot of people in the vinyl community are saying, hey, this is the new release, and I'm going to compare it to this, and, let's talk about new stuff. And then a lot of people are doing rock. So I'm trying to do some other stuff. There are also people doing classical, and my, hats off to them. I wish I knew more about classical. But I'm going to try to do some stuff that's a little more unusual. And, maybe get you back and say, hey, you can get some stuff, open the ears, listen to some stuff that's different, and see if you can't find something there that's good. And I think this piece that I'll play some for you, the vocals are just beautiful. It's a hula, and on the records they'll indicate, some of them are, these Hawaiian song for listening, theme song. You get a Hawaiian hula on one of them, so they're indicating the specific genres in there. And they've got hapa haole hula. Hapa haole means half foreign. Haole means foreign. Hapa means half. So they've got hapa haole music, and that tends to have English lyrics. Now there's a European element in this music. Certainly the guitar was borrowed from Europeans, so that derives from Europeans, and the chord structures and melodies are largely European, but the lyrics here are Hawaiian, and the sense is generally native Hawaiian. So I think this is pretty much authentic Hawaiian music. And the three vocalists here, the women singing here, have absolutely lovely voices. I don't understand the lyrics, of course. I don't speak Hawaiian. Don't understand Hawaiian. But their voices are magical, I think. They're gorgeous. And there's a very wistful sound, as there often is seems to me in the Hawaiian music. There's a beautiful, wistful sound to it. So let's listen to a bit of this. The records were, they're not in good shape. They'll sound rough. But you're not going to hear it you're not going to find these in good condition. If you want to find something, if you want to go back in the past, find something from the past and bring it up, you're going to have to put up with a little noise. So, edge that over just a bit. As I said, a lot of surface noise here. I've cleaned it a number of times. Very nice. Good. Beautiful harmonies there. I think that's gorgeous harmony. Work there. That's gorgeous. And we'll get a solo here in a minute. I have no idea what she's saying, but good Lord, that's beautiful. Yeah. So, again, Again, just so gorgeous. Another solo. Little skip there. Sorry for the skips, but it's rough. So, yeah, I think that's, I mean, yeah, it's got skips. It's got a lot of surface noise. But good Lord, I feel like I've gone back. When I listen to these, I feel like I go back. I go back and I hear something that, that I feel very fortunate to hear. Not blessed. I'm an atheist, but I don't feel blessed to hear it. But I feel like I'm just incredibly fortunate to hear this lovely music from 60 years or so ago that otherwise would be lost, and it's lovely. I'd encourage you to I think this Hawaiian music, because the voices are so beautiful. Hawaiian is such a soft and liquid and utterly musical language in and of itself, right? And it just really lends itself to, it's a musical language. And so you can just enjoy it just as music. And there is a lovely, wistful, sweet quality to it. So Uncle Dan, the Vinyl Man, I'm gonna wish you aloha. And as always, mes enfants, au revoir. Et aussi. À bientôt.